On the other side of this bay is the exact spot Captain James Cook landed. It's hard to imagine what it would have been like 250 years ago, watching as the Endeavour sailed into what we know today as Botany Bay. But over the years, we've uncovered and learnt more about that first encounter between Australia's Indigenous people and Captain Cook and his crew. A lot of what we know comes from Cook's journals.
We saw several people ashore, 4 of whom were carrying a small boat or canoe which we imagined they were going to put in the water in order to come up to us, but in this we were mistaken.
But there are also stories that have been passed down by the first Australians who saw the Endeavour arrive.
Hey Jack, how you going? Welcome to the Maritime Museum. Thank you for having me.
Beau from the National Maritime Museum has put together an exhibition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artworks to tell the story of Cook's arrival as seen from the shore. So Beau, what do we know about that first encounter?
Well, I think these days we know a lot more. I mean, when I was at school, we were taught that Captain Cook, the first encounter was at Kamei, the local people there at Botany Bay. Cook came ashore and everything went quite well. But now looking back at it, we know that from that very first time that Cook tried to come ashore, there was conflict.
The people Cook and his crew saw were Gweagal, a clan of the Dharawal people. Do we have any idea of what the Gweagal people thought Captain Cook and his crew were?
I think a lot of the local people nowadays are saying that they thought that Cook was a spirit, being white, fair-skinned, you know, that there's a spirit coming back and not to go near the spirit. The local people didn't want them to come ashore. They were shouting at them, threw rocks at them, trying to make them go away.
But Cook and his men didn't go away. And when they were confronted by 2 Gweagal men, they shot at them, hitting one man in the leg. Cook and his men then entered the Gweagal camp and took shields and spears, leaving in return beads, cloth and nails. In his journal, Cook wrote of his admiration for the Indigenous people's way of life.
From what I have said of the natives of New Holland, they may appear to some to be the most wretched people upon earth, but in reality they are far more happier than we Europeans.
He also acknowledged that all they seemed to want was for us to be gone. But that didn't stop him claiming the entire east coast for the British Crown. The land was said to be terra nullius, meaning land belonging to no one. Of course, that wasn't the case. And why have you chosen to include this piece in the exhibition?
Really important because, as I said, it talks about that deep time and that deep connection, you know, that we have been here forever, that we have been practicing these traditions and cultures forever, but we're also evolving culture and we're still here.
Do you think Cook was aware of that?
Sometimes I like to be on Cook's side and say that he did think about that, but, you know, I don't think that was his mission either. You know, his mission was to come and find this great southern land, and if he was able to, claim it for the Crown.
So, Beau, can you tell me about this artwork?
And this is done by Paddy Fordham, who's actually from Arnhem Land. What Paddy's trying to explain is that it wasn't the first Captain Cook for them, it was all the Captain Cooks that came afterwards.
To many, Captain Cook has become a symbol of all the European colonists who came after him, who took the land from Indigenous people, brought diseases and tried to erase cultures. While they didn't succeed, the devastating impact of colonisation is still being felt. So I recognise this guy, Cook. There's 2 of him. What's this all about?
So this is a contemporary work by artist Jason Wing, and he's actually called them Captain Crook. And this is Captain Crook unmasked, and this is Captain Crook masked.
It's quite a powerful image. What are you expecting audiences, their reaction to be?
I hope it makes them think a little. You know, I hope they do think about the history we have been taught, to the history we know now, and the history that hopefully is being spoken about in this 250th year. You know, that we've moved as a country to go, well, yeah, actually, how can you discover a place that's already inhabited? How can you claim a space that already has people living here? And that's really what Jason's just wanting people to think about, you know? We're not fixed to this one way of seeing or one way of viewing a certain point in time. You know, there is always a dual perspective, and our voices need to be heard and our stories need to be told.